3 weeks ago, on February 26, 2026, the federal agency responsible for your vehicle's safety closed a 7-year investigation into 7.4 million Chrysler, Dodge, and Jeep vehicles. The investigation documented 8,700 complaints, 750 injury reports, 11 crashes potentially linked to the defect, and 4 documented concussions in a single model subset. The agency reviewed 16 years of data, performed computer simulations, and contacted affected drivers directly. And at the end of 7 years, it decided that none of this required a recall. Instead, Stellantis, the parent company of Chrysler, Dodge, and Jeep, offered something that looks like accountability on the surface, but functions like its opposite in every practical way. The reason most of the 7.4 million owners will never find out about it is the most important part of the story. And it happened 3 weeks ago. A recall and an extended warranty are not the same thing. They use similar language: free repair, dealer visit, no charge to the owner. And they have completely different legal structures, completely different notification requirements, and outcomes for the manufacturer that are financially separated by billions of dollars. When a manufacturer issues a recall, federal law requires them to notify every registered owner by first-class mail within 60 days. They must create a documented repair completion rate and report it to NHTSA quarterly. They must continue notifying new owners when the vehicle changes hands. The recall appears in the NHTSA recall database, which every owner can search by VIN. Insurance companies, car buyers, and used car dealers all see it. When a manufacturer offers an extended warranty, none of these requirements apply. The owner must discover the issue independently, contact a dealer, and request the coverage. The manufacturer pays only for the repairs that owners actually claim, a small fraction of the total fleet, because most owners never learn the program exists. The company's legal liability exposure is contained. The repair completion rate is uncounted and unreported. The issue does not appear in the NHTSA recall database. Stellantis chose the warranty, not because the headrests stopped being a problem, because the math of a recall costs between $8 billion and $12 billion, and the math of a warranty costs a fraction of that. And the regulatory framework, after 7 years of investigation, gave them the option to choose. Here is what this investigation was actually about, because active head restraint deployment sounds technical in a way that obscures what it means when it happens to you at highway speed. Active head restraints are a genuine safety innovation. Introduced in the mid-2000s, they use a spring-loaded mechanism in the seat back that drives the headrest forward by 2 to 4 inches the moment a rear impact sensor detects a crash. The physics are correct. In a rear-end collision, pushing the headrest toward the occupant's head reduces the relative motion between skull and torso that causes whiplash. On paper, this is exactly what passive safety engineering should do. The defect is that the sensor can trigger without a crash. Potholes, door slams, rough road vibration, speed bumps. The spring-loaded mechanism fires, and the headrest strikes the occupant in the back of the head or neck without warning while they are driving normally at normal speed. 8,700 times across 7.4 million vehicles. Across model years 2010 through 2020, this happened in documented, filed complaints. 11 crashes were potentially linked to the sudden distraction. 4 concussions were reported in the Jeep Grand Cherokee subset alone. NHTSA opened its formal investigation in 2019, 5 years after the complaints had begun accumulating. The probe ran for 7 years, reviewing data going back 16 years, performing computer simulations of the deployment forces, and attempting direct outreach to injured owners, of whom only 12 responded to 63 contact attempts, which became a key factor in the agency's inability to confirm injury severity. The investigation was, by the size of the fleet involved, one of the largest in NHTSA history. And here is what 7 years of investigation produced in terms of financial consequence for the company responsible. Here is the number that explains every decision in this story. Industry analysts estimated that recalling and repairing 7.4 million vehicles, including parts, labor, dealer scheduling, parts logistics, and administrative infrastructure, would have cost Stellantis between $8 and $12 billion. This is not a speculative figure. It is derived from the documented per-unit cost of comparable large-scale recalls and the fleet size of this investigation. $8 to $12 billion. At a moment when Stellantis was simultaneously reporting a net loss of 22.3 billion euros for full year 2025. The company's worst financial result in years. On the same day, NHTSA closed the investigation without a recall. The extended warranty costs a fraction of the recall. Stellantis pays only for the repairs that owners actually bring to dealers. And the notification architecture of a warranty extension, no mandatory owner letters, no NHTSA recall database entry, no completion rate tracking, ensures that the repair claim rate stays low. An owner who does not know the warranty exists cannot file a claim under it. The program is structured so that the majority of the 7.4 million people who need to know about it will not find out in time to use it. Here is where it gets worse. The NHTSA recall lookup tool at nhtsa.gov is where every American car owner is told to check for open safety issues on their vehicle. You enter your VIN. The database returns any open recalls. If you own a 2012 Jeep Grand Cherokee, the highest incident model in this entire investigation, with 2,839 documented incidents, and you go to the NHTSA recall database today and enter your VIN, you will find no open recall related to the active head restraint, because there is no recall. There is a warranty extension, and the warranty extension is not in the recall database. The tool that the federal government tells you to use to check your vehicle's safety status does not show you this problem exists. The notification gap extends further. Because this is not a recall when your Jeep or Dodge or Chrysler is sold to a new owner, as millions of these 2010 through 2020 vehicles will be in the used car market over the next several years. The new owner receives no disclosure of the active head restraint issue, no notification of the warranty extension, and no indication from any federal database that the vehicle has a documented defect with 8,700 complaints behind it. The extended warranty covers the original owner for 10 years. The legal structure does not extend that protection to subsequent owners in any mandatory way. The used car buyer has no way to know what they are buying. The 7.4 million owners of affected vehicles fall into two groups right now. The small percentage who read automotive news in the past 3 weeks and know the warranty extension exists, and the overwhelming majority, which is the realistic description of 7.4 million people spread across 12 model years of Chrysler, Dodge, and Jeep vehicles who do not know, will not be told by the manufacturer, and whose 10-year warranty clock started running in February 2026, whether or not they ever learn what it covers. Here is what you do if you own one of the affected vehicles. The models are the Chrysler 200 from 2011 through 2014, the Chrysler Town & Country from 2010 through 2016, the Dodge Durango from 2011 through 2020, the Dodge Grand Caravan from 2010 through 2020, the Dodge Journey from 2010 through 2019, the Jeep Compass from 2010 through 2017, the Jeep Grand Cherokee from 2011 through 2020, and the Jeep Patriot from 2010 through 2017. If your vehicle is on this list, you contact your Stellantis dealer and reference the active head restraint warranty extension from Investigation PE 19014. You request inspection and repair of the active head restraint mechanism at no charge. You do this before the 10-year coverage window expires. You do not wait for a letter that is not coming. If you are buying a used vehicle in any of these model ranges, you ask the seller specifically about the active head restraint warranty extension by name. It is not in the NHTSA database. It is not on the Carfax report. The only way to know whether the repair has been completed on a used vehicle is to ask and to verify with the dealer's service history for that VIN. The final detail worth understanding about the timing of all this. Stellantis filed its full year 2025 financial results with the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission on February 26, 2026. Net loss 22.3 billion euros. On that same day, the same calendar date, NHTSA announced it was closing the 7-year investigation without a recall. Stellantis did not comment on the investigation's closure. It did not comment on the timing. Neither party has addressed the coincidence publicly. A company reporting its worst financial result in years avoided a recall estimated at $8 to $12 billion on the same day it filed the results. The 10-year warranty extension is the instrument that made both of those things possible simultaneously. 7 years, 7.4 million vehicles, 8,700 complaints, $8 to $12 billion in avoided recall cost. And the mechanism that made it possible is a warranty extension that most owners will never know about, covering a defect that is not in the Federal Safety Database, closing on the same day as the worst annual loss filing in the company's recent history. Check the model list. Check your VIN at the dealer. Do not check the NHTSA recall database. It will tell you there is nothing wrong. That is the point. Subscribe. There is more of this coming. And the next one involves a safety rating on the window sticker of every new car in America that has not been updated since 2011.